Oh God, guys. Thanks. So you're woo? You're woo tonight?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if people just said that? Like, hey, how are you? Woo! Although, it would be worse if you went to like a concert and the artist goes, how are we tonight? Somebody responds, I'm all right, how are you? Traffic was kind of rough. My wife has left. Expecting like Billie Eilish to be able to help with that. So I'm Saoirse. I'm going to be hosting tonight, and it's my birthday. It's my 19th birthday. According to the government, I am 19. According to everyone who knows me, I am 84 and a man. I have been best described as curmudgeonly. There's going to be a lot to discuss tonight. We have a lot of really great people who are going to be performing. My parents are here because they came up for my birthday. So lots of props for Sean and Stella. And so we're going to be introducing our first performer tonight. I will come back and terrorize you at the end. So the first person we have tonight is Scott, my lovely boyfriend, human werewolf, or maybe he's just Jewish, and my parents' favorite child.
Thanks for the introduction. A little anti-Semitic. It wasn't, I don't care, she's also Jewish. So good segue, I'm Jewish. I come from a very small town, not a whole lot of us. So it's good, it's fun being on campus where there's a lot of us. The fun thing about being Jewish on campus is that they can identify each other. Jews can always identify each other, which is normally like fine, but it comes in handy. It not comes in handy. It's a little annoying during Sukkot, which I don't know what you know about being Jewish, but that's why everybody was around campus with those giant leaves last week, asking me to shake them. And so they like to pick me out of the crowd because they know, despite the piercings and the tattoo, they know I'm Jewish. So it's always a crowd, they're scanning you with the curly hair and the big nose. Would you like to shake this leaf and lemon? It's a mitzvah. And of course I have to say yes, because I know my parents would be more disappointed in me than they are. So I do, and I go on my merry little way. Sometimes I forget how Jewish I am, because I was raised in a fairly Jewish household. You know, we used to do temple every Friday, almost every Friday. We don't anymore, because my siblings and me kind of stopped that. But then things in my life happen that remind me, oh yeah, I am that Jewish. Because my family is very much a weddings and funerals sort of family, where large family see each other maybe once a year. So the most recent event was pre-COVID when my grandfather passed. So, So it was right before I came back up for spring semester. So I was up here while my family was sitting Shiva, which is basically Jewish mourning. We're all sad and eat a lot of food. It's very similar to our holidays. So they were all sitting Shiva. I called to be like, hey, how are you? And I called my parents, because that's who I called. Well, they're all in the same room. And my parents go, how are you coping? How are you doing? To make you feel better, you should go to Einstein's and get a bagel and lox. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that. And then they passed the phone to my grandma, and my grandma was like, oh, how are you doing? How are you dealing with the loss, whatever? And my grandma went, is there a good place on campus you could get a bagel and lox? And I went, yeah, there is. I can go down, I can pay for my meal plan, whatever. And then they passed it to my aunt, and my aunt went, what might make you feel better? Is there a place on campus where you could get a bagel and lox? My dad has 4 sisters. This happened 6 times. They're all in the same room, just talking over each other. But it's nice to be on campus where I could be Jewish, because my hometown had 3 in my grade. 3. A class of 300, so not very many of us. I'm from Long Island, for those who don't know. Yeah, whoa. I live in a town called Kings Park, which is known for its abandoned psychiatric hospital. Which, fun fact, is where some of the first lobotomies in America were performed. So I have that going for me, which is super fun. My high school wasn't the best because it was a relatively small town, so we were pretty underfunded, and some weird shit happened. We had, my freshman year, a girl in my grade had a sex date. 14. Went to Catholic school for 3 months and then came back. She came back. Everyone knew a third of my whole high school got suspended. Like, genuine statistic, a third, which is an incredible amount. And then a different girl, also my grade, got pregnant, same year. We had one kid, my senior year, in my grade. He got curb stomped and went into a coma for the school year, for the entire school year. And then he woke up, got addicted to painkillers, went to rehab, and still graduated. Which somewhat says a lot for his resolve, but oh my god, he was a bad person. I did not like him. He was like this tall, which not like, short kings, but we had a teacher who was no longer allowed to teach in the middle school. Because, yeah, it's not a good town. We had a teacher who put all the girls in the front few rows, all the guys in the back few rows. And he didn't get fired because his mom's on the school board. This is a grown man! He was also head of National Honor Society. So, all the officers were girls, every single one. Everyone. And no one was like, maybe we should fire this now. We had a different teacher steal another teacher's wife.
What?
So they weren't allowed to be together. To be fair, it was an English teacher and a tech teacher. So there was no overlap in departments, which was fine. But we then got a new principal who didn't know. So over the summer when they were apparently they do teacher team building activities, which I didn't know, it sounds awful. And apparently he put them in the same group, which I heard it was terrible because what the teacher who got his wife stolen told all the students because they didn't care. I'm trying to think what else happened. I have this all written down. I'm woefully underprepared, and I thought of this like an hour ago. My senior year, also, I had my teacher slap a kid, get fired. Actually, no, he didn't get fired. I watched him slap the kid. It was definitely a slap. He got put on administrative leave. But he still got paid, and then he retired because he was like 70. One day our school got put on lockdown for a bit because a student hit an aide with their car. It's not a very good town. Let's see what else I have. Our school has made the news recently in my memory twice. Once for the sex tape thing, my freshman year, because that was, kind of child pornography. And then another time, because one of the elementary school music department teachers, during a performance, changed the words to Silent Night. She took out the words like Jesus, Lord, our Savior or something, and she was Jewish. And it's a public school, so of course she took that out. That makes sense. And that made news. Like big time, like big news. Because people got mad at that. Because she's one of 4 Jews in the town. So it's really nice to be in Binghamton. Thank you all. That's all I have.
That was okay. Had to make sure I knew who was going next. I haven't been paying attention this time. Next up we have Sarah, the girl who thinks my culture is her costume. Sarah, get out here. I thought... Oh boy. I thought we were getting Photoshop. Like, I thought we were gonna submit a fun picture of ourselves, and they'd like modify it in some way. No, they just used the picture I took in the nature preserve last week. It's not a very flattering angle. Like, in reality, I'm much hairier. But that's fine. It's actually, I'm really glad to see that there's people here. Like, I was really worried it was just going to be all the other members of Stand Up Comedy Club, but since I have you for a moment, as a member of the club, it's my legal obligation to promote it at every opportunity, so if anyone out there is thinking of joining Stand Up Comedy Club, don't. It ruins your life. I haven't gotten laid since 2019. I fell down the stairs the other day, and all I was thinking was, how can I make this into a bit? Like, it's really unfortunate, honestly. I think I've become like a worse person. And also, as previously mentioned, I don't have sex anymore. No, but it's Halloween season. It's October 1st, and everyone knows what that means. It's time to be spooky. Yes, thank you. Clap for being spooky. And thank you. And as everyone knows, there's nothing scarier than mental health. I'm not doing too hot right now. That's why I'm wearing a cape. I was just gonna wear jeans and a t-shirt, but then like an hour before I just looked at myself in the mirror and went, that's not gonna do it. You have to convince these people you have something going for you, anything. And I don't have time to like apply like the hair gel that turns your hair a different color until you wash it out. And I also didn't have any hair gel that turns your hair a different color until you wash it out. And like, CVS is still open, but like it's so far away. It's like a block and a half. And it's the CVS in downtown Binghamton, so they're always out of things, which other people buy. And I assume that among the 60 plus population of downtown Binghamton, there's a massive demand for spray-on hair gel. Because I know when I'm 60 years old, it's unicorn pink and sparkle silver all the way. I'm a senior, which is difficult to think about. I'm so sorry. And what's kind of embarrassing is I still don't know shit about Binghamton. Like, I'm constantly surprised. Like, I just spent the last 3 hours wandering around the maze that's outside of the lecture halls. Did you know that there's just a maze outside of the lecture halls? So if you, like me, ever saw the guy in a gorilla costume chasing the guy in the banana costume in 2018, I'm pretty sure they used some of these hallways back here. Otherwise, they just fucking teleported. Could go either way. But I feel like when I'm a senior, I should be knowing these things more. I keep pulling on the push doors. In the library, a place I go daily. This shouldn't keep happening to me. Sometimes doors are just locked, and they're next to doors that are open. So you see somebody open door, and very foolishly you think, this means I can open the other door that's right next to it. No, you can't. It's locked. You look like an idiot. Someone kicks you in the face. It's Harvey Stenger, actually. Harvey Stenger kicks you in the face. Quick side note. Has anyone seen Harvey?
No.
Because like I feel like I haven't seen that golf cart since the pandemic. That tricked out golf cart with Baxter Bearcat riding shotgun with a t-shirt cannon. I haven't seen that since the pandemic, and I'm wondering if it was like another COVID-related closure, or if his heart's just not in it. Which I understand, honestly. Like, you know, if I were Harvey Stenger, and every day I think about what would I do if I was Harvey Stenger. But if I was Harvey Steiner, I wouldn't go around in a golf cart offering free t-shirts to people because that's fucking weird. We all go here. We don't need a t-shirt. You probably, if you went to orientation, you probably got a t-shirt that says Binghamton and it says like your class year. You don't need another one. Every day I go to the bookstore and I ask them why they're still selling clothing. And they never, I'm not allowed in the bookstore anymore, but like I haven't gotten an answer, so I'm trying to recruit people to go in and ask for me. They sell the oddest range of things that say Binghamton on them. Like, I get shot glasses. And I get, because people drink out because it's Binghamton. And I get sweatpants. Because it's Binghamton, it's fucking cold. Right? They sell like green yarmulkes with a bee on them that are green. I can't spell yarmulke. I don't know if that's like correct, if it should be like with a logo. They sell sweatshirts that aren't green, which I think that's just misrepresenting yourself. You can't be the university that the color is green and then sell things that aren't green. That's not allowed. But you know, life isn't just about what you do at school and what sweatpants you buy from the bookstore and what doors you try to pull that are pushed. Life's also about your home and your family. And I think I ruined my mom's life. Separately of existing. Besides, not just that, but I think I ruined my mom's life because I told her what weed smells like. And now she thinks everything's weed. Because, you know, I'm sure many of you can relate to this, where you're walking past an open building with your mother, who's 60, and you're walking past an open building and your mother's like, oh, I guess someone must have ran over a skunk. It smells so bad here. And like, unthinking, like, you know, I do this regularly because I like to take walks with my mother past people who are smoking weed. But on one such occasion, I just very unthinkingly said, Mom, that's weed. And she was like, what? And then she said, no, it isn't. And I had no choice but to cede to her superior knowledge because, like, shit, what do I know? Like, my mom's 60, and she's from Ohio, and the most wild she's ever gotten is that one time she got a little tipsy after too many cocktails. She knows what weed smells like, and it's not that. Someone ran over a skunk. No, but I was like, no, Mom, that's weed. And she's like, wait, so every time it's been weed? And I'm like, not every time, like, because there is a skunk problem in like Brooklyn, but most of the times it has been weed. And so now she'll just text me in the middle of the day, Sarah, someone was smoking weed. And I was like, great! I'm in an exam, Mom! I'm not even gonna see your text for the next 3 hours, but you had to tell me right now that someone's smoking weed. Like, what if I think it's rude. What if I texted my mom every time someone was smoking weed? It would be every day, and it would be all the time. And I don't text my mom if I can help it, which is how I'm going to end this set. With a nice little joke about how I don't call my parents enough. I really hope this isn't posted because it's not like they'd ever watch something I do. But on the off chance that they see it, I'm sorry, Mom.
Depressing and funny at the same time. Good talent. Out of here. This might be not nearly long enough for me to be changing these slides and playing music at the same time, so you all had to listen to my screw up there. Next person we have is the president of our Dear Sweet Club. And if she was a serial killer, no one would be able to decode her cryptic, sarcastic, and bitchy, but very professional emails. Sarah!
her corpse bride, actually. As you can see, I'm still technically living, despite fate's best attempts to kill me. Who here has an older sibling? Raise your hands. Yeah? Keep your hands up if that older sibling has attempted to murder you. Okay, cool. Glad to know that this is still like a shared experience. So I have one older sibling, and there are many times that they've tried to kill me. My first memory is literally them trying to push me off the Eiffel Tower. Not a very smart attempt. There's a fence, dumbass. And then these other ones, I don't remember, but I've been told many times have happened. One of which is that when my mom was walking out of she went into the bathroom, God forbid, left us two alone. She comes outside and she sees Amira's foot on my chest, and as you might know, infants are very fragile. So she got scolded a lot, and after this, Amira's attempts to kill me were much more veiled. They would hit me with a doll, and it wouldn't be a Barbie, it wouldn't be a teddy bear, it would be something hard, like a Barbie doll, and they would say, umma, umma, which means kiss in my language, so like tough love. This also didn't go over very well, so their next attempt was even more veiled, or maybe they're just stupid, don't really know. We were on our way for a family vacation. We were in the airport, and before the flight started, my sibling wanted a cookie. So my mom bought them one, and somewhere between purchasing the cookie and boarding the plane, Amira managed to stuff this chocolate chip cookie in every orifice I have. They want to be nice, they want to share with their little baby sister, so first she tried my mouth. And babies, if you don't know, when they don't have teeth, cannot eat chocolate chip cookies. So next they're like, maybe babies are a little different, so they shoved it up my nose. And that also didn't work, so then they put cookies in my ears. None of which worked, obviously. But we made our way to the plane, no one noticed, I was over my mom's shoulder. And then when they were getting on the plane, the stewardess saw us, and she was like, oh, what a cute oh, Lord. Mom's just like, that's a rude thing to say about somebody's baby. You racist? You don't like brown babies? And she goes, ma'am, your baby's blue. My baby's what? So they took stock of the situation. And apparently, I don't know enough about baby anatomy, but they fed me ginger ale, and my mom swears all the cookie pieces came flying out. Their next attempt on my life was when we were a little bit older. I was 4 years old and Amira was 6 years old. Just a little spoiler, I still don't know how to swim. And this is the origin story of why I don't. We were in a jacuzzi, and like I said, I was 4. 4-year-olds are very short. I was shorter than the jacuzzi. And so I was standing on the ledge that you would normally sit on. And eventually my sibling gets out of the hot tub in order to use the bathroom. And my mom's just watching me. And I managed to slip in. And when I slip in, I start flailing. It felt like to me, like I was under there for an hour. And when I was telling my mom the story, I'm like, yeah, you were so neglectful, you didn't even notice that I was under there. And she's like, that's not true. I noticed right away. I'm like, then why didn't you take me out of the hot tub sooner? And she's like, well, you were spinning. I was spinning, I was like a goldfish in a toilet bowl, just going and going. And she's like, yeah, I tried to catch you, it was hard, you're tiny. So as soon as she caught me, she took me out, started rubbing me with a towel, trying to warm me up. I was again blue in the face. And Amira finally comes back from the bathroom, sees this, and says, aw, I miss all the fun things. The next time they were almost caught, the reason for my death, we were much older. I was 18 and they were 20. And this time we were in the Sahara Desert. Very exotic, I know. And we saw that there was an ATV rental place. And my whole family thought, oh, what a good idea, that would be fun. Not like you need a license for that. For your information, I only just got my license. So, and I was like, oh, it won't turn out badly at all. Meanwhile. So we start riding the ATVs, and it's a tour guide and then my family, and we're supposed to be following him very closely in the path that he's going. So I'm right in his tracks, I'm following him exactly. But my sibling decided not to do that exactly. and they went down a much steeper path, so the ATV kept going without them, and they went flying right off the front. They fell, and you would think that sand is like a softer landing. It's not. Their ass was black and blue. They almost needed butt surgery, which is just hilarious to me. You know, so people say like, oh, I broke my ass. They literally did. But yeah, so that happened, and then the tour guide in charge of all of us made a turn to go and take care of that, and I didn't even realize at this point that anything had happened behind me, so I just thought I'm still supposed to be following him. So I also made that sharp turn, which I did not have enough capability to do at all. So my ATV flips and flips on top of me, and the wheel lands on my ass. I am so glad I have safety cushioning there. Otherwise, I feel like I would have snapped like a twig. But I was fine, I was chilling under there. And my thought process was, there's no way no one notices this right now. Meanwhile, no one was noticing this right now. So I was like, you know, I'll scream, I'll give them a little hint, but you know, I don't really need to like lose my voice over this. So I screamed exactly 3 times, help, hello, help, and then just sat there, eating my sand, just waiting. Like they'll notice eventually. And eventually my mother's maternal instincts did kick in, and she noticed, and she shouts, my daughter! And the tour guide was like, yeah, no, I'm taking care of it. And she's like, no, the other one? God damn it! So he runs over, he lifts the ATV off of me, and he goes, get out. I'm like, no, I think I was just gonna chill here for a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna get out. So I crawl out, I'm sitting there just trying to collect myself, collect my thoughts. I'm thinking, you know, I almost died, and you would think that people would pay attention to me now, but no. They ran away from me. I'm like, what could be more important right now? Oh, Amira almost also died. Cool. So I get up, I go help them, and it's decided that we're gonna ride back. My sibling with my mom, my dad's gonna ride Amira's ATV, and I'm gonna ride with the tour guide, and we're gonna abandon one there, because neither of us were capable to drive ourselves, clearly. And you would think this is like a rom-com moment, like I could snuggle up to him. No, he seemed like the beast before any character development. He was pissed with me. I was like, I'm just gonna clutch to the back of the seat as hard as possible, and if I die, I die. It's okay, it's fine. I don't wanna make him any angrier. So we make it back, and the people at the ATV rental place clearly were expecting, you know, happy tourists, not a bunch of people covered in sand and blood. And they're like, shit, are we gonna get sued for this? And me and my sibling had very different approaches to dealing with near death. Amira turned into TV static. Like if you looked into their eyes, it was the opposite of lights on, no one's home. It was lights off, someone's home. You could hear the sound, and you just did not want to look at them any longer. But I think I was running on like an adrenaline high, and I was like some demonic, demented game show host. Just had too much energy. Like, hi, hello, what's going on? How are the kids? How's the wife? Yeah, is that blood on me? Oh, you know that stains. It's terrible. You got a Band-Aid? No? Okay, great. And you'd think after this we could like rest at a hotel or like go to a hospital or something like that. But no, our next booking was for a tent in the middle of the desert. And the way to those tents was on camelback. As you might be able to tell, no one was in a great mood after all that had happened. So we were riding those camels as if we were on an actual pilgrimage. Just complete silence, the dread on our faces. We finally get there, and I'm chilling in the tent, and one of the staff comes over and asks us if we want anything to drink. I'm like, yeah, you know, a Coca-Cola would be great. And Amira, you want anything? Yeah, I think there's a water bottle. I throw it on their ass, creating more internal bleeding. When we got home, Amira did eventually see a doctor, and they talked about butt surgery, but they never needed it. They just needed to rest on their front for a little bit. I, on the other hand, did not go to a doctor. I came straight back to school. And I went to Decker, to the nurses, to ask them, hi, so this happened. I got run over by my own ATV, and it hurts when I do this. And they said, does it hurt as much as when you were under the ATV? Or what? No, I think that was worse, definitely worse. It's better now. And she's like, okay, if it gets worse from this point on, then come in and we'll take you for an x-ray. But if it gets better, then don't come again. And I never went back again. Thank you.
Amazing, beautiful, wonderful. We love her. Next up, we've got Lainey. Lainey, please, oh please, do not make my sweet Catholic mother have a heart attack. I know you are capable. Promise me. Thank you. Okay. There you go, Lainey, everyone!
Hello. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lainey, and I am mentally ill. I don't care. So let me do my job. Yeah, sorry, apologies. I'm Lainey, I'm mentally ill. Now that we got that out of the way, has anyone here ever been to like a psych hospital? You don't actually have to raise your hand. I don't actually care. I'm using that as a segue. So this was my segue. So being in a psych hospital, it is like nothing you will ever see in your entire life. But I do kind of like it. You can do things in there that are not normally socially acceptable in like the real world. You could start crying randomly and not one person will bat an eye. Like, it's basically like living in New York City. If you did that anywhere else, you would be judged. You would have that whole thing where people would walk by you kind of slowly, look concerned, but want to pretend they don't see you so they don't have to be like held responsible. In the psych hospital, no one even moves. You can just break out into like a scream fest during lunch and it's just a normal Tuesday. Like it's that weird. But I do like it. I am a frequent flyer. I got my miles in, so that's pretty cool. So I don't know how best to explain what it is like in there. Actually, I do, and here's how. So you know like Sesame Street? You know the one where like puppets breaking into a song is just normal. Like they have a literal green furry in a trash can and not one white woman calls the cops, not one. It's basically that, but there's like a lot less furries. Actually, I'm gonna rescind that statement. That's a lie. There are a lot of furries. My favorite time though, it was the best experience it was the worst experience of my entire life. I had just turned into an adult. I was not even 18 for a month yet. Half of a month, no, that's a lie. Maybe like a quarter of a month, I was 18. So that means that you're put onto the adult unit. Fun, I know. So me, newly 18, basically a fetus in the same unit as 80-year-olds. And I know you may be thinking to yourself, if it's an 80-year-old man, you can get a sugar daddy. No, I didn't. I just had to deal with the trauma. I did not get any pay after it, which isn't fair, but that's besides the point. So there was this one night. It was, again, the first time I was in the adult unit. It was my second night. Emphasis on second night out of 10 days, okay? You heard me, second. Not that that matters yet, but you'll see. And everything was normal. Everyone was just chilling in the rec room. I was playing cards. There were people reading the paper. There was a creepy lady in the one corner rocking back and forth, whispering some kind of seance to herself. The usual, like it's normal. And out of nowhere, it was a fucking zoo. And here's how. There was this guy, he was sitting by the payphone because that's how we use communication. The cord is maybe the size of my pinky, and that's not a lie. They make it small so you won't like kill yourself with it or something, which like good for you, but that's weird. You have to like dry hump the wall to use it. So it's always a nice thing to see, to watch old men do it. It's always interesting. I'm always interested. So this guy, he's using the phone, #chillin', and then out of nowhere, we had a new patient arriving. Yay, that's a lie. We have this new patient arriving. He walks in. Normal person walks straight up to payphone guy and like WWE style punches him right in the face. Like full on right in the face. And that was basically, like, he basically threw Mentos in a Coke and just said, fuck it. Like, everything else got a little too wild. So WWE is happening, so all the nurses run there because now it's time for them to do their job. So all the nurses run there, except for one. There was this very large man. He was a nurse, as I've mentioned. And as soon as WWE started to happen in that corner, people like lost their shit. There was this one guy just casually walking up and down the singular hallway of the unit because that's what you have to do for fun. And this poor man, he's PTSD, he's a war vet, king shit, I know. And as soon as shit hits the fan on that side, he turns into, it's like he's back in the war. I was terrified. He's punching the walls, he's about to like throw shit at all of us. So Giant Man goes over there to deal with him. And this man, not the nurse, the mentally ill guy, he's trying to pick up the giant weighted chairs. All of the furniture is weighted, so you can't like try to kill someone with it. Like, they're really polite, they're doing the best. This motherfucker was able to pick it up. When I say it's heavy, I'm not strong, so I can't even say like I couldn't pick it up, because I couldn't. But large nurse guy couldn't pick it up either. So this was like a show. So that's happening here in like the little hallway. We got WWE over here. To help, I will set the scene. So the unit is one hallway, single, that's it, just one hallway. In the front we have the nurses station. On that side, we have like the payphone fight going on. And then on the other side of the nurses station, that's like the rec room, the common room. So we have little war vet over here. And again, trauma, it's not funny. But I mean, come on. Like, if you watch this happening, you'd be like, I have to start laughing at this man. So we got that over here. And then in the rec room where I am, again, I'm just playing cards. This shit hits the fan, and even like weird seance lady who's walking in the corner, she turns her head. She was in another world. I didn't realize she was a human being. And that motherfucker turned her head. You know it's bad when the seance lady's turning her head. She was like building a cauldron or something. I don't know what she did. And she still turned around. Like, that was wild. So she turns around, which makes everyone nervous. Then there's this really sweet, really cute 20-something-year-old boy. His name was Salvatore. What a king. He is riddled with anxiety in the worst way. Like, I have anxiety. I'm mentally ill. This poor kid, he just starts crying. Like, he goes fetal position in a ball into the other corner. So seance is over here, but the other corner has little crying man. And I felt so bad. I think it's because I could relate to him the most. Like, I watched it, I was like, yeah, same. Yeah, I feel that. Good for you, man. So that's happening there. That's happening in the other corner. Right in front of me, this was my favorite person. Her name was Greta. Greta is probably in her like late 60s, early 70s. And she's the daughter of a notorious mobster. That's not a joke. Full-on notorious mobster. She liked to remind us of that too. She liked to remind us that of like the things that her men could do, and that's a direct quote. She called them her men. So naturally everyone's terrified. But she's right in my line of vision, and I'm scarred for life. She's right in front of me, as I've mentioned. Greta, my queen. She pulls down her pants, so she's bare-ass naked, waist down, Winnie the Pooh style. Or like Winnie the pew pew. Well, that wasn't really that funny, but nice job. And right in front of me again. I've never seen an old lady's ass. I never want to again. I wouldn't suggest it. I mean, unless you're into that, because we have furries over there too. So like, whatever you guys want. So she pulls down her pants again, right in my fucking line of vision. And she said, and I'm gonna do the voice. I'm gonna try to do her voice. Obviously, nothing compares to Greta herself. She's a queen. But here's what happened, okay? I'm gonna stand up for this one. So that chair, that's me. This is Greta. I'm Greta. I wish I was Greta. Pulls down pants, Winnie the Pooh style, and then yells, I think I should put this away from me for this. Kiss my old ass, fuckers. In that moment, I don't know what to do. What the fuck do you do with that? Every emotion was going through my mind. Do I laugh? Do I applaud? Do I run? Should I cry? Like, what do I do? So Queen Greta, she's doing her little pantsless show for everyone. I think she did it on purpose. I think she always wanted to do that. And this was like a reason that we're like, okay, we're in a psych hospital. Every mental illness is on display at this moment. So this is my time. Plus her men could back her up if she needed, because clearly they're everywhere. Yeah, so we have WWE over there, Rec Room, shit show. Over here we got the little fighting man, Mr. War Vet, chilling with the giant large man, still trying to throw chairs at him. Because why not? Why not stop throwing chairs? So I don't know how to explain how terrifying that is. Like, it's funny now, like it's really fucking funny. And I would give away my kidney to see the surveillance video for that. Like I would pay, I'm poor, but I would scramble up $1. I will go all homeless, like obviously it's not funny, I know what it is. And I'll pick one of those tin cans and I'll just start walking around asking for pennies if it meant I got to see this video, because that's all I needed in my life. So eventually though, when, you know the words, when everything started to calm down and then Avengers Infinity War over there ended, I found out that the reason those two were fighting is because it's gang related. And yeah, so I heard though next time, if I get one more punch, I get a free pair of grippy socks. So look forward to that.
Can someone please check if my mother is alive? That was pretty rough. Just kidding. Next we have what would happen if Cthulhu was just a little more fruity. Ryan!
I did such a great job singing that, didn't I? So, hello everyone. It's been a while. And in a while, I mean it's been 2 years, but you know, go figure. This is my new outfit. As in, it's new to all of you. I literally wear this every day. So, as you can see, you've got some babies right here. And then they grew up. Can't relate. So great news, everyone. For those of you who are in the know, my liver is still failing. But hey, you live and you learn. So, on to the point. So, I recently got into a very fruitful discussion that really told me a lot about who I am, what I'm looking for, what I need out of life. I was talking to my very dear friend who may or may not be here tonight, I don't know. And she was telling me, she said, Ryan, baby girl. Father? Ryan, baby girl, you can't keep doing this. You can't keep stumbling in at 9:30 at night, milkshake on your shirt, crying about he who hath done you wrong. And I have been done very, very wrong. A man took me on Valentine's Day to 1917. A World War I movie. Not even the sexy one, the prequel. Anyway. So she said, Ryan, you need to raise your standards. Because right now, male is not cutting it. Not in the slightest. So the first caveat that was made, which I don't agree with personally, I thought that was a little excessive, was that he has to be under the age of 30, which I just think is rude. What am I supposed to do with that information? Well, not really what am I supposed to do with the information, but rather what am I supposed to do with someone under 30? Babysit them? Send them to bed? Ground them? And, you know, I thought, fine. But that's a little hard because the second requirement I have for men is that they have to be DILFs. What DILF is under 30? I did my nails today. It's called rusty nail clipper I've had since high school. Anyway. And you know, say Leslie. We did have to put a very strong caveat. I don't know if anyone's been following cinema recently. I don't know if there's any theater kids in the audience. Fuck Dear Evan Hansen. I can't stand Dear Evan Hansen, so. Thank you, whoever just wooed. It is the pinnacle, the height of mediocrity. Anyway, Anastasia should have won this. So, however, here's the nuance. We have a little nuance here. Ben Platt, if you're out there. There's no ring. Listen, I never played Evan Hansen on Broadway, but don't you worry, I can fit into that polo. I can fit into that cast. I've never broken a bone before. I'm just so graceful. I took years of that with it. So anyway, as I was saying, so I'm a firm believer that home is not just where you live, it's a place where you can believe in. And I'm not living somewhere, I'm not just living in a house, I want to live in a home. And in order for that to be a home, that man needs to provide me with my needs. And that need is a VHS copy of the Disney film Cinderella. Just doesn't hit the same on Disney Plus. Not at all. But, you know, speaking of, you know, I'm also, I don't know, I like someone I can take care of too, you know, some little sickly. Like, a little ill, rich, and obscenely wealthy. You know, I have my 2 daughters, he has his daughter. I married him, he dies, I have a maid. Why are you laughing for child abuse? So, I will also accept a VHS copy of The Wizard of Oz. I feel that's pretty apt. I see a rainbow in the audience, so that made me think of The Wizard of Oz. I was actually in that movie. I was the lead. I'll be singing selections of Rodgers and Hammerstein next weekend, right here, that's your whole time. You know, just like all men, he has to be, you know, clean, disposable. I haven't seen the Clue movie in a hot sec, so I don't remember the quote exactly, but I am quoting from there. What are some other have it. Okay. So raise your hand if you know a mother. Wait until you meet my mother. And I'm going to tell you her full name. It's Doreen Cecile Teresa Socorro Isillo Oates. She's cool, I guess. He can't be an agent of her because we very much have a very interesting dynamic. You know, I leave the house. She comes around like once a month, tries to kill me. I go home to visit for the house and say, hey, what was that about? Like, I have a twin sister too. And the thing about her is that I'm just so much prettier than her. I can't explain it. We look exactly the same. But anyway. We're going to end off by giving you a history lesson. This is a photograph of a prominent American from the early 20th century. Her name is Evelyn Nesbit. And yeah, that's her right there, looking beautiful. That wasn't me in high school. Don't get it confused. I did not look like that in high school. I looked like this. So, to put it on one more note, always remember, before you date a man, make sure he has a pulse.
Very sound advice. Next up, we've got Darian. Darian, I did not write anything for you. I didn't know you were performing. I am so sorry.
Thank you, Sorsha. Hey, everybody. So I have a quick PSA before we actually get started. I know it's solid, right? I heard 3 separate conversations today about people talking about like hidden and raw. Don't do that. STDs aren't a Pokemon. You don't have to catch them all. Wrap it up, guys. Come on. Moving on with that. So the theme of tonight is like Halloween movies, you know, classic Halloween movies. And I was thinking, what if you took your regular old Halloween and you just changed a couple letters, right? So you take the Wolfman, right? Movie about real scary, big dude, fur, all that, and it becomes the Golfman. And instead, so I don't know if you guys have seen this video. It's real good. You ever see that video of George Bush? When wait a minute. He steps up, he's giving an interview on a golf course, and he goes, we must unite. This is like right after 9/11. He goes, we must unite as countries together to stop these terrorists. And it's this real emotional moment. He goes, now watch me fucking crush this drive. And then he turns around and just rips the golf ball down the course. That's the movie. That's the whole movie, the golf ball. All right, then we have a classic, Dracula, right? Everybody's favorite bloodsucker. In this one, he's sucking something else. The title, Ejacula. Let's just say that this one's not going to be a bust. Then the last one I'd actually be starring in. We've all seen The Invisible Man, right? So I have the invisible tan. For those who don't fully understand what I mean, let me just a little hot here anyway. I'm real pale. Invisible tan. But while we're on the topic of scary things, right, I'm going to talk to you guys about the scariest thing there is an upstate diner. Now, upstate diners give me the exact same emotional response as a bodega in Queens. Anyone up here who doesn't know what a bodega is, If you're from Connecticut, and that's why, leave. If you're from New York, and that's why, I guess you can stay, but go to Queens. A lot of y'all can't drive, and I know that's a fact, because like 40% of students here that I've spoken to, y'all don't have licenses, so you don't go to Queens, that's okay, you should go. But in Queens, I'm scared of getting shot at by like, gangs or the police, or, well, I'm not scared of getting shot by the police, but up here, I'm scared of getting shot by any white man who walks in the door of that night. Including myself, depending on how the meds are working that day. You know what I mean? It's a real crapshoot. So there's this one diner up here, I don't want to name names, Danny's Diner. It's bad. It's good, but it's so bad. There's 3 people who work there. I've met all of them multiple times. Don't know any of their names. Don't want to. We have the fry cook, who, older white guy with a very unplaceable, like, Northeastern European accent. By the way, that was real. I do not count this. Very unplaceable accent. One of the stands, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Stan, like, how it is. And he's the fry cook, and he hates me. He told me he didn't like the cut of my jib. Found out what that means recently. He doesn't like the front of my boat. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to do with that. I think it's because, my nails are painted out in that day, and I had they were done, and I think he saw it, and immediately decided that I was gay. He's only half of it, but so nonetheless, we don't support homophobia here. He goes, but I go in and I order breakfast at 3, as everyone does. And I say, can I get sausage, split and grilled? It's delicious, right? Anytime you order sausage in a diner, you want it cut in half, you want that shit thrown on the grill and seared. Mad good. I hear before the waitress even writes my order down, I hear from across the room, no sausage on the grill after 12. No sausage on the grill after 12! Why? It's so arbitrary. And I think it ties back to my jib, right? So that's one of the employees. And then we have so no one named Danny works there or runs the place. I think he used to. And then his wife killed him and took over the business. Because the woman who runs that place is like 5'11", dresses in all black, only wears flats. Like if she wore heels, I'd be terrified. Like 6'3", walking around, gotta get her in the movie. But she's terrifying. There's nothing really funny about her. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, she scares the fuck out of me. And then there's my favorite who works there. The short Italian little grandmother. She's the best. She's about 88 years old. She wears, I don't know if they have uniforms, but she wears capris that are like mid-calf. Mid-calf, right? And then she wears like long socks, but they're not long enough. So they go to, they're not ankle socks, but there's like 2 inches of skin that just shows on the calf, and I think that she is slutting it up, guys. She thinks she is gonna get so much dick walking around there. And it's like, everybody loves those like spider veins running down the calf. Yeah. And for a penny and for a pound. But she's also like coke skinny. She is a tiny woman, 5 foot without a hunch, just maybe 35 pounds soaking wet. But she's wiry. Like, I feel like she throws a mean left hook. I really do. I think you put her in the ring with Jake Paul, he's getting humbled. She'll be in there just going at it with him, pot of sauce under one arm, spoon too. You're too skinny, fucking shoving meatballs down his throat. Oh, if only. But my favorite part of this diner is the patron. 2 patrons in particular. There's an old blind man who comes in every now and then, very sweet guy. I've had a couple conversations with him. The first one was a little weird. So he comes in, when I go there, I've been there maybe a dozen times, he's been there 3 or 4 of them. He comes in, and he's done this every time. He sits at the bar, right, reaches from a menu, which, not sure how he gets it, but there. And then he looks at it for like 10 minutes, every time. And now, right, the normal thought here is, oh, maybe he's not fully blind, maybe. So I asked him, as you know, any polite person does. I went up to the clearly blind man, tapped him on the shoulder, and I was like, all right, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? Why do you have a menu? He goes, you know, just because I'm blind doesn't mean I can't read. I think about that shit every day. What does that mean? Like, it feels deep, but I don't think it is. And then my favorite patron that I've ever seen there. I've only seen him there once, and I'll explain why. So, you know how, for some reason, groups of both musical teenagers and people over the age of 70 who just went to a funeral just congregate at diners afterwards? This was the latter. So it was all of these just, you know, elderly people and a toddler in a high chair. And he's sitting there and, being a toddler, not shutting the fuck up, all that stuff. And the waitress comes over, right? My grandmother comes over and goes, takes orders. And I hear him just go, can I have baked clams? Let that sink in for a minute. We are in landlocked Binghamton, New York, at an upstate diner, and he ordered clams. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, right? He's free. 6 baked clams comes out. They're big as shit, and he bodies them. He fucking killed them, guys. Oh my god. Like, quick too. It was like he was 3 down, I had to finish my meal. It was insane. And now, the reason why I don't think I've ever seen him there again is that after I left, I'm positive that all that baked clam just, rumbling around in there, he probably shit himself to death in the parking lot right after. So, thank you guys for coming out. That's what I got today.
Me time. Stop leaving. Oh my god, guys. Unbelievable. Let me just turn this off for a second so I can complain more. Oh, it turned off on its own. Funny how those things happen. Hi again, guys. There's so many less of you than there was about 30 minutes ago.
Well, that part to make up for it.
Aww. Don't. I'm not that funny. So once again, I'm Saoirse. I would say that you could see on the word that I'm Saoirse, but I don't think my name actually sounds like how you think it does. And once again, it's my birthday. I'm 19 today. I know. This entire week is about me. Did you guys know it's Fat Bear Week?
Yeah.
What amazing timing. As someone who personally identifies as a fat bear. Incredible. So, it's my birthday, and every year on my birthday, of course, your friends and family get you gifts. One in particular that I think of a lot is my grandmother. My dear, sweet grandmother. She gets me gifts every year. And usually they're good. But about 10 years ago, I mentioned to my grandmother that I liked turtles. And then the live ones, like I wanted a pet turtle. And my grandma saw this and ran with it. Ever since, my grandmother has been periodically giving me ceramic, fabric, or glass turtles. That's not cute. You think it's cute. I know you think it's cute. You know why you think it's cute? Because it's an old lady doing it. It's not cute. So it started off with about 10 turtles. And I was like, oh, this is cute. And then she tells me she has a collection. She's a collection of turtles from my father's childhood that she has kept. These were not my father's toys or collection. It was hers. It was her collection. It's just that old. Sorry, Dad. So it started off with these 10 turtles, and then it slowly grew to about 30 turtles per holiday. For holidays. My grandmother is Jewish, we celebrate Hanukkah. That's 8 days of turtles. Holy shit. There was a point, in fact, that I thought, you know what? How many more turtles could she possibly have? She doesn't have that much space in her house. She only lives, it's her and my step-grandfather. It's only the two of them. How many more could she? She has so many more. It has been 10 years. It shows no signs of stopping. What the hell do I do with all these turtles, man? My mom suggested a thrift store. That feels wrong. She's right. I should give them to a thrift store so some other grandma can collect 50,000 turtles and give them to her poor grandchild when she mentions once that she wants a pet turtle. But that just doesn't feel right because, you know, this is my grandmother. But I'm starting to think that maybe my grandmother should be in charge of, like, America's economic situation. Because this is what trickle-down economics really is. It's slowly giving your grandchild turtles. Why don't you just give them to me all at once? Why don't you just ship me a fat box of turtles, take it on my doorstep, and go, here, you stupid. Take it! Take it! That's what I'm gonna get in the will. It's not gonna be anything, you know, money, property. It's not gonna be anything fun. It's not gonna be some incredible family heirloom that's worth millions. It's gonna be turtles. Maybe I need therapy. I have a lot of childhood trauma. Speaking of childhood trauma, my parents are here, previously mentioned. I'm kidding, my parents are wonderful people. They are great. I know you're all on a stand-up comedy show, so maybe you don't relate, but I do have a good relationship with my parents. Contrary to maybe how I look. The purple hair does not help with that. My parents have known me for a long time now. When I was young, I really hated the idea of tattoos. I was like, there's nothing that I want permanently on my body for the rest of my life. And I really stuck to that. And my parents also hated tattoos, and they still do. And I'd like to think that as a person, I haven't changed much since 10 years old. So a couple weeks ago, I got my first tattoo. I got a snake and some flowers. That was important enough for me to get permanently on my body. I got it as a self-harm scar cover-up. I struggled a lot in my youth. It makes me sound really old. In my youth. I struggled a lot in my youth. And now that I'm an adult, legally, I decided, you know, it's time to move on. It's time to move on from that really dark chapter of my life. So I spent $900 to do that. When I was getting it tattooed, I realized, you know, I was getting it over these self-harm scars, and I realized, this feels oddly familiar. It hurt. It hurt a lot. When they tell you tattoos don't hurt, they're lying. They're lying to your face. Tattoos hurt. And they hurt really bad, especially when this was a very sensitive spot. And so my tattoo artist, he realized I was in a lot of pain. And he turns on this show, and it's this anime that I've never seen before. And, you know, I've got my boyfriend next to me, and he's holding my hand, and I'm squeezing it like I'm about to break his hand. And he turns on this anime, and I'm like, wow, this is really nice. And then I realized he wasn't watching the anime. He didn't care about the anime. He was distracting me, like a toddler. Like if mommy wants to go take a nap and the toddler's being obnoxious, turns on a TV show and sit there and watch. The most degrading part about that is it worked! I sat there like a baby! Wow! Anime man. And so, again, as I said, this tattoo was rather expensive. I thought it was worth every penny. I paid for it with my own money. But then I forgot that my dad actually has access to my bank account. And a couple of days later, I get a text from my dad that goes, hey, sweetie, my dear, my only daughter, my favorite child. What the hell did you spend $450 on? Nothing. Nothing? My dad's not an idiot. He's a very smart man. Too smart. So, nothing wasn't a good enough answer. And he keeps going. He does not stop this interrogation for days. What did you spend $450 on? Nothing. What did you spend $450 on? I sent him a meme once to see if I could distract him. And he goes, I don't get it. And I said, which part don't you get? He goes, I don't get this part, and this part. And what'd you spend $450 on? Let it go! Get a hint! And so finally, I'm like, God, I just gotta bite the bullet. It was an early birthday gift to myself. That was also not good enough. He had an idea at that point what it was for. My big concern was, I used Afterpay. Just wait until he sees the next $450. Ouch. My bank account hurts. I got these scars tattooed because they're really not something I'm proud of. They're a reminder of a very dark part of my life, and I don't want to be reminded of that. And there's a lot of people that are very proud of their scars, and absolutely no hate to you. Be proud of whatever you want to be proud of, unless you're me. I am not proud of them, however, and I see a lot of things on Instagram that are like, I'm proud of my scars. These are my tiger stripes. No, they are not. They are proof of your grippy sock vacation. This is proof of what I'm capable of. Recovery. Oh! You meant recovery. I went to Catholic school. If you can't tell. It explains my dark humor. A lot of people say, my mom also went to Catholic school. Sort of like a tradition thing, it's cute. And a lot of people say oh, God, I'm turning into my mother, this is terrible. You know what's worse than turning into your mother? Turning into your aunt. Can a single one of you say that your mom has a good relationship with her sister? No? Resounding no? Thank you. Yeah, no, it doesn't exist. My mom is an angel. My aunt? My aunt has an addiction to horses. Turning into your aunt is becoming a bitchy, petty, sexually frustrated version of yourself. And you know what's even worse than that? Turning into a combination of your aunt and your father. Being a girl who has turned into her father is a painful existence. Not only am I bitchy and petty, I'm also emotionally detached. I'm generally absent. And constantly a little bit physically ill. Thank you so much for coming out tonight.